Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a truly unbelievable and honestly super emotional true story. We're going to look at a chain of events that literally changed an entire city's heart. It's the journey of a homeless man named Daniel and a stray dog named Buddy. Let's just jump right into it, because this explainer is going to show you exactly how the power of a single bond can completely rewrite a person's entire destiny.
Have you ever just walked past a homeless person without having any idea who they used to be? It's kind of a heavy thought, right? Well, our story starts right in the middle of a freezing January in Chicago. Picture this. Snow is completely covering the sidewalks, the icy wind is just biting, and people are rushing past each other, totally focused on getting home or to a warm coffee shop. And right there, completely ignored by almost everyone, sits a man named Daniel, wrapped up in a thin gray blanket under a bridge.
But here's the thing, just 5 years earlier, Daniel's life looked entirely different. He wasn't always living under that bridge. He actually owned a thriving construction company. He had a beautiful wife named Emily and a cheerful 8-year-old daughter named Sophie. They had a warm house, a truck, big dreams for the future. So how does someone go from that warm, secure life to a thin gray blanket and complete homelessness? Well, it was a brutal cascade of tragedy. It all started with crushing medical bills for Emily's rare illness, which eventually forced Daniel to sell his savings and then his entire business.
If we look at the timeline over the last 5 years, Daniel started with that successful business and family. Then 4 years ago, Emily gets sick. Daniel sells absolutely everything he has just to try and save her. But tragically, 2 years ago, she passes away. And the day Emily died, Daniel felt like a huge part of himself just disappeared. The bank took his house, friends slowly stopped calling, and he fell into total homelessness. But the absolutely crucial point here is this: even as he was out there collecting cans and going days without eating, Daniel never stole, and he never loudly begged. He just quietly hoped that tomorrow would somehow be kinder than today.
So that brings us to section 1, finding a true friend.
This takes us to a freezing evening behind a grocery store dumpster. Daniel is out there searching for food, simply because hunger gave him zero other choice. And right then, in what had to be his absolute lowest moment, everything begins to shift. As he's reaching into the dumpster, Daniel hears this tiny sound, almost like crying. He follows it over to a soaked cardboard box, just hidden in the snow, and inside is a starving golden puppy. Trembling, ribs visible, totally abandoned. Daniel carefully picks him up, and for a few seconds, they just look at each other. It was like they both implicitly understood what it meant to be cast aside. Daniel wraps the puppy in his only warm scarf and whispers, "I guess the world gave up on both of us, but not anymore." That night, Daniel took his absolute last half sandwich, and he gave every single bite to that puppy while he just drank water.
By the next morning, Daniel decides he needs to give the little guy a name. He goes with Buddy, because, as Daniel put it, everyone deserves at least one buddy in life. And this just perfectly captures the bond that formed instantly between them. They became totally inseparable. As Buddy grew healthier, he would follow Daniel absolutely everywhere. And I love this detail: Buddy would wag his tail so incredibly hard that strangers couldn't help but smile when they walked by. Daniel was still homeless, sure, but he wasn't alone anymore.
Their connection is just perfectly summed up by this one moment. One afternoon, outside a bakery, a 7-year-old girl stops to pet Buddy. She hands Daniel her cookie, saying Buddy looks hungry. Daniel graciously takes it, but instead of eating it himself, which, remember, he's starving, he breaks it in two and gives the much larger piece to Buddy. When the little girl notices this and asks why he feeds the dog first, Daniel just looks at her and replies, "He depends on me." This profound, simple act of care actually inspired the girl's mother to silently go inside and buy them 2 hot meals.
Which leads us to section 2, the life-saving rescue.
Okay, the pacing of our story is about to escalate big time. It's late evening. Heavy snow is falling on downtown Chicago, making the streets super slippery and dangerous, and Daniel and Buddy are asleep under their usual bridge. Suddenly, Buddy hears an incredibly faint cry. He barks, but Daniel is fast asleep, so Buddy physically bites and pulls on his jacket to wake him up. Buddy leads him through the heavy snow into a nearby alley. There's a car that has crashed hard into a steel barrier, and it's smoking. Inside, the parents are completely unconscious, and there is a terrified little girl trapped in the back. The doors are totally jammed shut. While Daniel is furiously trying to pry the door open, Buddy literally runs directly into the road to stop a passing delivery truck, forcing it to slam on its brakes. The driver calls 911, runs over to help, and together they manage to pry the damaged door open. Daniel pulls the girl out just seconds, literally seconds, before the front of the car bursts into flames. When the police, paramedics, and firefighters finally arrive, the scene is chaotic. But one firefighter looks right at Daniel and says this: "If you hadn't found them when you did, they probably wouldn't have survived." But Daniel, he immediately points down to his muddy golden dog and says, "It wasn't me, it was him." Meanwhile, the rescued little girl, who's wrapped safely in a blanket, absolutely refused to let go of Buddy, whispering through her tears that he saved them.
Okay, let's dive right into Section 3, an unexpected second chance.
Because the morning after the rescue, the entire dynamic of the city shifts. Videos of the rescue recorded on a bystander's phone had just exploded across social media. Everyone in Chicago was suddenly asking why this hero was sleeping under a bridge. So the very next morning, Daniel wakes up to just an incredible outpouring of support. People aren't coming to chase him away, they're coming to shake his hand. A woman brings him a warm winter coat. Somebody else brings a brand new collar for Buddy. Kids are dropping off dog food. And perhaps the most moving part? An elderly man silently hands Daniel a $100 bill, admitting he felt deeply ashamed because he had walked past Daniel for months without ever stopping. For the first time in years, Daniel didn't feel invisible.
But the absolute biggest surprise arrived in a sleek black SUV. Out steps Michael Carter, the owner of one of Chicago's largest construction companies. He walks right up, looks Daniel in the eyes, and offers him a job right there on the spot. Michael explained that while everyone else was calling the dog a hero, and rightly so, he believed the real hero was the man who managed to stay kind after losing absolutely everything. So Daniel accepts the job. He works incredibly hard. But a few weeks later, Michael calls him into his office for what turns out to be a massive emotional twist of fate. Remember when Daniel lost his business years ago and his equipment was auctioned off by the bank? Well, it turns out Michael's company was the one that bought that old equipment at the auction. And inside one of the old toolboxes, they found something priceless. It was a photograph of Daniel, his late wife Emily, and their daughter Sophie. Michael had actually kept it all this time, hoping its owner might one day come looking for it. When Daniel saw it, he just wept. He truly thought that precious memory was gone forever.
And that beautiful moment brings us to Section 4, paying kindness forward.
Let's fast forward a year. Daniel's life has been completely transformed. He's been promoted to site supervisor, he lives in a warm, comfortable apartment, and get this, Buddy actually attended the rescued little girl's birthday party as her special, requested guest of honor. How cool is that? But Daniel never ever forgot where he came from. He actually saved up enough money to go back to the exact alley where he first found Buddy shivering in that cardboard box. He placed a permanent wooden memorial sign right there that read, "One act of kindness can change 2 lives forever." And right below it, in honor of Buddy.
And it doesn't stop there. As he's stepping back from placing the sign, Daniel spots a homeless teenager walking past, clutching a frightened stray puppy. People were just walking by, ignoring the teen, exactly like they used to ignore Daniel. So Daniel doesn't hesitate. He walks right over, he smiles, hands the teenager a warm meal, a blanket, and the exact address of a local shelter that helps people find work. When the shocked teen asks why he's going out of his way to help, Daniel just looks down at Buddy and explains that it's because someone once gave him a second chance. And now, it was his turn to give one to someone else.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a profound question to reflect on. Is true wealth measured by the money in your pocket or by the love that never leaves your side? Daniel and Buddy's incredible journey is just a beautiful testament to the true value of compassion. It shows us that even when you hit absolute rock bottom, unwavering loyalty and kindness can pull you right back into the light. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep this story in mind the next time you walk past someone who feels invisible. You really never know who they used to be or the hero they might still become.